There's creatures coming at them. They're seeing Kong from this side and T-Rexes from the other side.
Working on a movie, we always know where the people are looking. They're looking straight ahead. They're looking at the shot that we're working on.
Here you have to take into account that people are looking in all directions.
Also, one of the things about this ride, unlike the movies that we're used to working on, there's no cuts because it's one giant shot. And this tram that's driving along through Skull Island is where the camera's from. This ring represents where the screen is 10 meters away.
We're really creating about 50 minutes of a feature film. That amount of visual information, that number of pixels, and presenting them to the audience, it's a hell of a ride.
Okay.
All right, this area we call our London Square. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was out here for Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw. Now they filmed on location in London, but they came back here to do some of the more intricate stunt car chase sequences. Mindy Kaling also had an apartment here in the Mindy Project, and they worked on Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. here as well. Now right around this area too, Christopher Nolan had done The Prestige. It was Edwardian England for The Prestige. Now if you look to your left, you see that huge wall. It's actually entirely made out of foam bricks. Now much of the buildings back here, they're made of really cheap lightweight materials. Plaster, plastics, plywood. If you go up to a lot of these buildings and knock, they're very, very soft. And that's because filmmakers can easily change the front side of these buildings to make them look like anywhere in the world. Now over here to your right, this was recently painted by an artist, Tristan Eaton, used over 400 cans of spray paint. Is to commemorate Universal's legacy of the monster movies, stretching back from Dracula to Frankenstein, the Wolfman, Bride of Frankenstein. Many of the Universal monsters were started in the early 1930s in our Little Europe sets, which we'll be heading to in just a little bit. Now if you look to your left, you're gonna see the V logo. Stage 30 and 31, that's where they just filmed season 27 of NBC's hit show, The Voice, with Team Buble winning this season. They used the film on Soundstage 12, which we saw earlier in the tour. Here on your left as well, stage 32 and 33, that's where they filmed the first season of Happy's Place with Reba McEntire. And this little body of water, we call it the Hollywood Ocean. Back in 1954, it was the Amazon River in Creature from the Black Lagoon. I like to put on pause because over the Creature's shoulder there on the right, you can actually see the Hollywood Hills there behind them. CGI wasn't exactly what it is these days. If also anyone's seen Nope by Jordan Peele, his third movie, the very beginning of that movie, Daniel Kaluuya and Keke Palmer's characters, now they're driving away from a film shoot. They're on the street that we're driving from right now. They're in a pickup truck. And we'll see in just a little bit on our studio tour, we'll actually be seeing some more from Jordan Peele. Specifically from Nope, we'll be going into one of the sets. There on your right, that gray house you see, it was first used in Hallmark's Home and Family, and now more currently it's been used as the influencer mansion in Bel Air, the series. Here on the left too, you'll see some large satellites. Now NBC broadcasts a lot of shows. They're also going to be the official sponsor of the Olympics when LA is set to host the Olympics in 2028. Many of our sound stages back here we use for athlete interviews and things like that. But next we're going into our Little Europe sets. Like I mentioned before, this is actually where the birthplace of many of those classic monster movies were. So it's Transylvania for Dracula, Wales for the Wolfman, Cairo, Egypt for the Mummy. This is also Genovia too for the Princess Diaries with Anne Hathaway. This is where she's going through on the carriage, right through the streets. Also, if anyone has seen The Good Place with Kristen Bell, this is the afterlife.
You, Eleanor Shellstrom, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife, come on. I have never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here. I can't risk going to the bad place.
Maybe it's not all that bad.
Hi there. How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
All right, this next area on your right we call the Court of Miracles. Back in 1923, over 100 years ago, this was Paris for the Hunchback of Notre Dame. A little bit later, in 1930, It was France and Germany for All Quiet on the Western Front, which is our first Best Picture winner for Universal. Another one of my favorite movies that filmed back here in our little Europe sets was the Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. This is Port Royal and Tortuga for that. So if you ever remember when you meet Captain Jack Sparrow, Johnny Depp's character, for the first time, you meet him on location in the Caribbean. That's where they initially had filmed the scene, and then they came back here and did the whole chase scene with the Redcoats back in our little Europe set. So it's Tortuga and Port Royal for that. Now he runs away from the Redcoats, he hides behind a suit of armor, and he goes into Will Turner's blacksmith shop. Now we have that back there in Little Europe. It's not where we